I went on a trip to Vegas for the first time in my life, but the problem is I stayed for one night, and as I was checking out, I noticed the bill was for $250. So I went to the front desk and said, "Why did you charge me $250 for only one night?" The receptionist replied, "Part of it is resort fees, such as room service, food, pool, internet access, and more services that were available during your stay." Angry, I said, "I didn't even know these services were available to me, let alone use them." The receptionist replied, "I cannot change the bill just because you hadn't used these services. The fact of the matter is these services were available to you, meaning I cannot change the bill." Frustrated, I wrote a check but made it out for $50 and handed it to her. Confused, the receptionist says, "Sir, this check is for only $50. I said, "That's right, I charge you $200 for sleeping with me." Angry, the receptionist says, "But I didn't." So I replied, "I cannot change the prices just because you hadn't slept with me, because the fact of the matter is you could have." I went to the barber, but the problem is a 6-year-old kid entered the shop. The barber saw him and he whispered to me, "See that kid over there? He's the dumbest in the whole world. Watch while I prove it to you." So the barber puts $1 in one hand, 2 quarters in the other. Then he calls the child and says, "Which one do you want, son?" The kid thinks for a while and says, "I'll take the 2 quarters, sir." So the barber hands him the 2 quarters and the kid leaves. Then the barber turned back to me and said, "What did I tell you, man? That kid never learns." I was really confused and I really wanted to know why he took the 2 quarters instead of the $1. So when I left the barber shop, I started searching for the kid. I went around the neighborhood for about 30 minutes, but I couldn't find him anywhere. I decided to keep on looking, and about 30 minutes later, I still couldn't find him. And just when I was about to give up, I saw him coming out of an ice cream shop. I immediately ran to him and said, "Hey son, we met at the barber shop earlier. May I ask you a question?" The kid nodded, and I asked him, "Why did you take the quarters instead of the $1?" While eating his ice cream, he replied, "Because once I take the $1, the game ends."